Doing good, thanks. That's actually Captain Sleckberg's, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
How's the weather up there? How's the weather up there in Navair world?
Yeah, it's about 84 degrees. I mean, it's not as hot as it was earlier this week, but just because we had some rain a couple days ago.
Right. Understand the sticky.
Still hot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Last person that just chimed in. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Captain Washburn.
Hi, sir. How are you?
How are you, Bob?
Good, thanks. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes?
Yes, hi, good morning. This is Phil Torrente with FRC Southwest. My skipper will be coming in just a minute. Is Captain Jaramillo.
Copy, Captain Jaramillo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Rick Braunbeck.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Very good. And you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Hey, Sammy, Flo.
Hi, sir. How are you?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Great, thanks. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Hey, Sam, Captain Bennett, and I got Jim Belmont with me.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please? Say again? Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Hey, Sam, it's Captain Hessenthal.
Hi, XO. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm back on mute.
Copy mute.
Hey, Sam, did you get me, Matt Wilcox?
Copy. Got you, sir. Thank you. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Good afternoon, Captain Mike McCurdy.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Yeah, hey, it's Captain Jones and Captain Duffy calling in from headquarters.
Copy. Captain Duffy. I'm sorry. Who is that again? Captain Duffy and who?
Captain Jones?
Captain Jones. Gotcha, sir. How are you?
Just fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please?
Hey, Sam, it's Brian, and Captain Carsons is in the room.
Copy. Thank you both. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes?
My name is Commander Kevin Biddle.
Hey, KB.
Hello, Sammy. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Al 9000.
Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes?
Yep, this is Joe Montes.
Copy. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Hey, it's TK.
Hey, Captain Kelly. How are you? Thank you.
Hey, this is Paul Choate, and Captain Armio is also here.
Copy. Got you both. Thank you.
Hey, Sam, it's Captain DeMoss.
Good afternoon, Vice. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, thank you. Captain Flores, will you be sitting in today for Captain Dahl?
Yeah, I guess I can if he, that's what,
Hey Sam,
Right.
this is Commander Burgess. Captain Dawes calling in.
Copy, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sam, it's Chris Couch. I just dialed in.
Copy, got you, sir. Thank you. All right, Captain DeMoss, I've got 1,300 on the nose. If you wanted to wait just a second, I believe Captain Dahl's going to go ahead and call in, at which time we will have all members on board.
Okay, yeah, we'll give him a minute here and see if he can make it in.
Raj, standing by. Welcome to the ESG. Can I get your name for the minutes, please? Welcome to the ESG. Can I please get your name for the minutes?
The Phantom.
You're somewhat shy.
Hey Sam, if he was the last one, that may be him.
Raj, Captain Dahl, you out there?
Yeah, that's all right. We'll let him join in as and just catch up as we go.
Raj. All right, sir. We're ready to kick off.
All right, hey, thanks everybody for being on. I know last time that we met, we had a voting member only discussion and review of the charter and bylaws. So I want to start there real quick and just kind of give you what the big ticket items were from that. And then we'll go ahead with the rest of the agenda. So bottom line, we had everybody's input from the voting members and or alternates for the charter. A couple administrative changes, just things like changing some codes and that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to get into those. But from a content standpoint, there was really only two big changes that we discussed and then voted on. First one being the regularity of the meeting and when the meetings were going to be. What we came to an agreement on was that the first two meetings of the quarter, so the first 2 months of the quarter, would be all members that want to participate, both voting, alternate, and the rest of the 06 community. And then the last meeting of the quarter would be a voting members only, and that would be to review any action items and then vote on any initiatives or any topics that had come up in the first two meetings. So that was the first big muscle movement. The second one was just clarifying and making sure we understood the language for who the voting members are and then who the alternates are. So we cleaned up some language there, came to an agreement and an understanding of what it meant, and then therefore who the specific voting members were. And so those were the two major topics. I believe all the voting members have reviewed now the language and the updates that Sam sent out. We didn't get any feedback negative from that, so I'm assuming that no comms is consent. And so we will go with that unless somebody gets a hold of me separate. So that was the first topic. Any questions on that, or anybody need any more info on the charter or bylaws? Okay. The second one I've got, just as a general kind of end of fiscal year, getting ready for the new fiscal year, is promotion board season. So as everybody knows, starting here September, October, notifications will start going out from Millington looking for looking for membership, not only for recorders but also the voting members to sit on the statutory boards for the community. So as that happens, want to make sure that our folks are prepared for that. So it's not just, hey, you show up and then you learn about the community in the couple days that you're there. As you get notified or as the requests come out, please, if you're a voting member, get with the community manager, get with the detailer, understand what the SECNAV approved brief is and what the community values are, and then also talk with the OCM and the detailer on what our major jobs are, what those specific ones that are called out in the SECNAV brief, so that you have an understanding of the size, scope, and requirements that we're having our folks be billeted in for, and then therefore being reviewed when you look at their fitness reports and start marking them up. If you wait until you're at the board to do that, my experience has been you will be behind the power curve, and to be honest, you won't be a really good person to be representing, one, the community, but two, the individual. So the more you know about the community going into it, and the more you understand about what the progression of our jobs is, the better you will perform for the individuals that you're briefing records on. So that would be just kind of my generic piece of that. Kyle, is Kyle on? That maybe if he's got anything to add to that.
Yeah. Hey, Trent. I'm here, sitting behind Brian. One subtle correction of what you're saying. Between Lieutenant Commander Hawkins and myself, we nominate who the statutory and administrative board members are, with concurrence through Admiral Zarkowski. But those first notifications will be coming out from us, and then there'll be follow-on ones coming from PERSCOM, for the administrative things. But we should be really training all our captains on what are the community values, career progression, and meritorious values. Not just targeting the ones we know going to the boards. We should all know those. For them to do that community values, career progression training is needed. Over.
Okay, yes, thanks. Concur. Brian, you got anything you want to add to that? Or if you want, I guess I might as well just go ahead and go with the agenda, which would make it over to you anyway.
Yes, sir. What we have tried to do in the past as well for the boards is send out a one-page document kind of explaining a little more detail on the community values, career progression slides, and kind of what to expect. I'll be updating that here in the coming months as we get closer to the new fiscal year. As far as in the office, we're right now knee-deep working on preparations for NAVAIR slate and all the applications that have been submitted. There are quite a few, so it's going to be an interesting board this year. Other than that, that's where our sole focus is right now. Also coming up is the Transfer Redesignation Board. So we'll have those LDOs and other URL types that are applying to become 1520s. That board occurs at the end of this month, a couple weeks prior to NAVAIR slate. And that is all I have, sir.
Okay. KB, you up? You got anything?
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm up. Not a whole lot to put out. I'm shining up the crystal ball for the NAVAIR slate shake up there as well, and waiting for the Lieutenant Commander results to come out. Just quick items of interest: people moving. Commander Carmichael's going out to fill the N422. Commander Calamug is relieving Gustafson out at Compact Fleet. That'll be in September. Lieutenant Commander Schrock is coming to relieve Brian there as OCM about that time and start his turnover in September. And that's that for that. We had an uptick in Lieutenant Commanders voluntary retiring. We now have 10 for FY20. Common theme is still family. I don't like the direction the Navy's going. Not getting the support I need to do my job. Hey, there's better. The grass is greener. that kind of stuff. But it tends a lot for FY20, and I'm tracking now too for FY21. The new PET program, the performance evaluation, and I don't know what the T stands for, but the new evaluation forms. We had some training on that the other week. They were supposed to send out the new, we were going to be the guinea pigs to go in there and play around with it. It's on hold for probably another week or two until they work some kinks out. But it is progressing, and I would expect to see that out in calendar year 20. Barring any questions, that's all I got, sir.
All right, hey, are we far enough along with the NAMC discussion to go ahead and announce that and talk to that, or not?
Again, unless I guess we can certainly discuss it, sir. Commander Mike Wyndham will be going out to be the OIC of NAMC in November of this year.
So for everybody, if you hadn't already heard that, one of the major initiatives out in the fleet right now is the NAMC effort in Lemoore. It is a CNAP O-level requirement. So we're kind of viewing it as a super squadron, if you will, so a combination between a little bit of heavy maintenance and then more of a FRS type feel with long-term down aircraft that are in their possession. So due to its importance right now in the Super Hornet world, between CNAF, ComFRC, and NavAir, we have made an agreement to put an 05 as its OIC, if you will, or maintenance officer, whichever one you want to look at it. So it's a big deal, very important job. We looked at available folks, looked at who could go out there with the right skill set, sat down with Kevin and Brian for a long time, making sure that we had the right nominees to go. In the end, Mike Wyndham was selected to go, so it's going to be a huge, huge effort for him. I believe we did put the right person and the right skill set in place. So we look to see great things from Mike coming out of NAMC and Lemoore. Obviously, for all of you that are part of the enterprise that touches Super Hornet, if you can assist Mike in any way, we'll be calling on you. But please offer up your help independently as time goes on. I think Mike's timeline is something like September. Is that right, Kevin?
It'll be November.
November. Okay. All right. So not real close yet, but eventually here, as the year rounds out, Mike will be heading out that way. So appreciate Mike stepping forward and taking this on. Very unknown, uncharted water, but I think he's going to be the right guy to go out there and help out. So wanted to make sure we put that out for today. Kyle, you got anything else from your end?
Yeah, just next week, Wednesday, Thursday, we're doing our annual new Aviation Acquisition 06 training seminar, and all our new FY20 06 selects be attending.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Hey, Trent TK, just a quick question. Who's going to be Mike's reporting senior?
The reporting senior
Commodore.
will be the Commodore because it falls under the Commodore in the wing out at Lemoore, so it will be the Commodore.
So will he be competing with the wing mo on fit reps?
Great question.
Yes.
My take would be yes, since it's the same reporting senior.
Well, and this is Brett. The one option that we can look at is putting him in a subcategory of OIC in order to break that head-to-head competition.
Yeah, and honestly,
kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of up to the Commodore and Deputy Commodore since it's their billet. But my take would be, it's no different than competing at NavAir or competing anywhere else. That's the way of the world. So we just, got to do the best job we can and meet the requirements of the Navy. So whichever way it falls out, I know Mike, he's going to go out there and do a great job either way. So I don't think that will matter a whole lot in the end.
I'm just curious because I know it's a new billet, and we talked about educating the captains. And if somebody else asked me, I could just repeat what I learned here.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, if you need some more info between Grant, if Grant's online, or Jeff Chown, I'm sure that, as a matter of fact, that's not a bad thought. Maybe I will get with Grant or Jeff and see if we can't get something put out to the community about the responsibilities of NAMC and what that job's going to entail.
Okay.
Grant, you on board?
Trent, I think he's on an airplane.
Okay, all right. I'll get with him separate, and we will get something out to everybody. That's a good call.
Okay, and I know some people asked me about the billet and was concerned about not having Hornet experience, but apparently that's not a factor.
Looking for a leader that knows maintenance.
Okay, I will pass that along.
Yep, thanks, man.
No problem.
All right, Kyle, you were done. Didn't have anything else?
Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so community events that have gone on or coming up. We did do the ComFRC face-to-face with the COs last week. We did a small group, COs, XOs only, which went or this week, went really well. One day, hopefully they thought it went as good as I thought it went. And we did get some business done, maybe as opposed to some of the just taking briefs. So thought that went well. The next face-to-face will probably be in conjunction with the maintenance symposium in December. And what we may look at for that, no, we haven't done the 06 training yet. To be honest with you, the schedule is just getting out of hand. I think we talked about that last time. With all the initiatives going on and NSS implementation, the Admiral schedule is just pretty much booked now every single week going into November. So if it stays that way, I'm going to talk with him here in the next week or so about looking to add the 06 training as part of and one of the days during the maintenance symposium. So it would probably be a very shortened version, maybe a couple hours, and we'll see if there's a way to fit that in. In the meantime, if you've got specific thoughts on yes or no from your end, whether that would work, I wouldn't mind seeing some thoughts from you as a collective group. So if you wanted to send something to me, copy Sam, telling us what your availability would be for that week during the maintenance symposium, it would help us formulate how we want to address it with the Admiral. And I think that's really about it from the community events that I've got. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and see if there's anything that people want to discuss or any specifics that people want to offer up.
Where's the symposium at this year, Trent?
It is up in Washington State.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
It's over on the eastern side, Spokane, I think.
Yep, Spokane. Yep.
Hey, Trent, this is Joe Montes. I was wondering if maybe for the benefit of the group, you can briefly mention what's going on with MAO and the possibility on how that touches all the maintenance activities and the support they get from some of the competencies as we make this transition here through February of next year. If you had some quick comments on that. Over.
Okay, yeah, so MAO, Mission Aligned Organization, is taking the place of CAO, Competency Aligned Organization, from a NAVAIR standpoint. So from NAVAIR headquarters and then all the commands that fall underneath NAVAIR, we are making a shift from the competency alignment to now what Admiral Peters and what leadership is calling the mission alignment. The intent of this is to slow down as much of the accountability and as much of the responsibility and decision making to the lowest possible level. From working on the reorgs for the last 7 months with NAVAIR, I personally believe it's the right thing to do and it's the right course of action that we need to be taken. So the way it will kind of roll out, right now the timeline has been extended to February of 2000 instead of October of this year. Reason for that was there are some things that are just taking a little bit longer to work through from an execution standpoint than what we had planned on. What it will end up doing for us, mainly, you probably aren't going to see a lot of difference that is too noticeable on the program office side. The functions of the program office will still be the functions of the program office. The difference will be the folks inside it will belong to the program managers directly, as opposed to going to the competency outside of the program manager. From a ComFRC standpoint, what it looks like is the redistribution of billets into functional alignment that is not vertically or horizontally integrated, but more of a straight line, vertical. All of the requirements within a particular function belong to that function. So in doing that, a lot of the traditional 6.0 and some 4.0, which are engineering and logistics alignment, will now come into what's going to be called ComFRC Plus. So things like maintenance planning, training, BFM and financial group, a lot of those type of functions that traditionally had belonged outside of ComFRC and to some degree outside 6.0 will now be inside ComFRC. What that ends up doing at that echelon 3 level is ComFRC will grow from about 140 folks to about 360. It doesn't mean the people go away, and it doesn't mean the function goes away. It's just now being aligned to that echelon 3 command that is ComFRC, as opposed to being spread out across the bigger NAVAIR headquarters. When you go down now to the sites and the site level FRCs, which would be the echelon 4, there is an internal reorganization going on there as well. Again, the specific need for people doesn't go away. It just aligns them better to the outcome, which is the product of the depot. In doing that, there's another product of the depot, which is the FST, the fleet support teams. So that particular set of functions is being split out of production and will be managed by the echelon 3 ComFRC headquarters. Will still reside at the sites and down at the fleet, but their reporting line, if you will go back to the organization within ComFRC. Now, where it probably does have the biggest impact for the community is the realignment of billets that are in what used to be 6.0. And so what you'll see is, and I don't know that it's been completely fleshed out, but there may be a move or shift in what the 06 community billets and what the 05 community billets look like inside the new, what's going to be called the sustainment group. So it was industrial operations and logistics. That will change to sustainment and the sustainment group. It will have a much smaller footprint, but from a functionality standpoint, it really just means that billets and bodies go where they're closer to the fleet and closer to the execution. So not completely sure yet where those 06 and 05 billets are going to reside, but Tim Fanenstein, Don Simmons, and Mr. Radowski are working that currently. So we should start to see that flushed out fairly soon. From the ComFRC side, it does mean that probably some different titles inside ComFRC for our military folks, but functionality-wise, I don't think we have moved any billets outside of ComFRC. I think it's just a different set of titles which relate better to the functions they do. Inside the sites for the 06s, which are the XOCO jobs, those obviously don't change. And then for the 05 jobs and lieutenant commander jobs, again, the job doesn't go away. The functionality might change a little bit, which means the description changes, and it could end up being in a different functional group. But I don't think right now I've seen anything that reduces the number of billets that we actually have. So more to come on it. You're also going to see a whole lot more communication start to flow. We needed the last 2 weeks of data crunching to get finished. That's done now. So now the teams are starting their comms plans, if you will, which is how we're going to put the information out to the workforce. So those will start hitting email and YouTube probably here soon, or not YouTube, but Facebook. and that will get a lot more information out to the entire community, the NAVAIR community as a whole. Does that kind of help? Is there anything other specifically that you want me to address? Like I say, there's going to be a lot of information that starts hitting the street here really soon.
No, I think that covers it extremely well. The only thing I would add is within the logistics arena, some of the competencies obviously are getting broken up, and those functions, which are lines of effort, are being moved out into different areas. Some are going to NOC-ADs, such as the ships integration function, and some will go to the COMFRC plus. NATIC's moving over. So my goal is to make sure that these things are transparent, especially to the fleet. But I would be lying to the group if I told you that it's going to be perfect. Even the best laid out plans will have gaps in it, and we'll try to mitigate those as these transitions take place. But we just need to be paying close attention on the products that come out of the competencies, if they affect anybody on the phone call. And if you start seeing that something that you used to seeing coming out is not getting to you, then let us know so we can take action to try to avoid that. Over.
Yeah, and that's great comments, especially talking about the transparency to the fleet, because the reality is the only thing that the fleet should see is that things seem to be happening faster, which is the intent. So you're right. If they start seeing seams or we start seeing things not being done, then obviously we have missed something, and we've got to find that. But the hope is, and the intent is, that the only thing that happens that the fleet sees is that things move faster to them. It probably won't happen 100% right in the first go around. It never does when you try to do something this large. And when I say large, I mean we're talking about nearly 40,000 people that are having their jobs kind of moved around and shuffled. So it is a major muscle movement to do this. But yeah, if folks start seeing something that's missing, don't suffer in silence with it. Bring it up, even if it's at this forum, so that we can get it pushed to the right place. So great comments.
One thing is Tom Dahl. One thing I'd like to add also, 260 will be 260 still, but NAVAIR 1.0 will be a PEO under Mr. Kurtz.
Yep.
How that's going to flush out, not sure, but that's the food chain now.
Yeah, no, great input. And I think the other thing I would say for the group is there is still all of the 06, 05, and 04 opportunity for corporate tours and corporate experience at NAVAIR. That's not going to change. Again, I haven't seen one single piece of paper that says military billets at any level or any designator are going away or moving outside of the NAVAIR SysCom. So the opportunity will still be there, but we're going to have to spend a lot of time with Kyle and Kevin and Brian and his relief on what now are those jobs, what are their titles, and where do they still fit, or do they still fit in, kind of the priority structure that we've determined for the community.
Hey, sir, this is Paul Choate. I just got a quick question on that.
Go ahead.
Hey, so when I did my corporate tour, we were all assigned to 6-6, and that allowed them to rank all the commanders. Now, if we're in the program office, is it going to be a 1 of 1? Or is it still going to be ranking all the commanders?
Yeah, so I think this is back to what Tom was saying. Some of the functionality will move to the NOC, and some of it could move to either the PEO or directly to the PM. And I think it really just depends on which one where does that go. And I know one of the major discussions is actually the PSM jobs and who are they going to reside with. And Tom, you might know better than me. Has that been resolved at the Echelon 2 yet, or do you know?
No, it hasn't been resolved yet.
Yeah, so I think, Paul, there is still a lot of work to do, and as we've started flushing this out, some things that seemed like they were going to be simple were not. And so this alignment with functions like the PSMs, the lead engineers or chief engineers, that's another one. Some of those major billets, they have not come to resolution on where they're going to lie. So until that happens, You could end up being a one-on-one, or you could still be with a group, but it may be under a different group alignment. So not maybe in the sustainment group, or it may be in a NOC.
Okay, hey, thank you.
Hey, sir, this is
Commander Burke.
This is Matt Wilcox. As far as the previous 6.6, all the military folks right now are staying in the same UIC, so they will still compete as they used to. Maybe at a future date we'll move people across UICs, but that is yet to be determined.
Hey, this is Commander Burgess. My question, and so what about the billets? Are they going to be aligned? Are they still going to fall under the logistics plane, or are they going to be coded as PM coded billets, or a mix thereof?
Matt, I'll refer to you if you've heard anything as far as change of coding.
Will be coded based on the duties. So if you're in a logistics job like an APML, you're still going to be coded logistics, and then program management as appropriate.
All right, copy.
All right, any other topics?
Just Captain McCurdy here. On the topic of the MAO, and I'm kind of on the outside here looking in, but one of the things we realized inside DCMA was moving groups of civilians from one organization to another. Functionally, all the agencies were wanting to go that direction, but it was a violation of the union rules to change that work environment for the people, even though it was transparent in absolutely all other ways. So just a caution to throw out there. Joe mentioned you might realize some gaps, and it might be something to look at. Is this something as far as movement of civilian people? Does the union need to have a vote on this? That's just one thing to offer up from here.
Yeah, hey, and I completely understand that one. Would tell you that from at least at the site level, Echelon 4, and then some of the Echelon 3s that actually have unions, this has been in communication with them now for about 8 months. So I know the site level are working fairly close with the union, waiting on the final okay on what the structure looks like, and then they can get really involved with the unions. But yeah, it's great comment, because anytime as you pointed out, anytime you change the working environment, that's got to go back through the union for their I&I process. So yeah, agree. All right, any other topics? All right, the last bit of administrative stuff then from Sam. Sam, you got anything else?
No, sir, I don't. One last thing I thought maybe to mention was the changing of program management to include the A on the end of it. That was discussed the last time during the charter. Was there anything to be said there?
Yeah, so now you caught me off guard, Sam.
All right, we'll save that for next time then. That's all. I just had a little note there.
Somebody put you up to that, didn't they? They said, hey, play Stump the Dummy, and you'll get him on this last question.
No.
I see how this is going to be, Sam.
No.
All right, anything else? I'll have to look into that one, Sam, and if there is anything, we'll put that into the notes for next time.
Yes, sir. No problem. Sorry about that. I have nothing more.
All good. All good. Trust me, you weren't the first one today to catch me off guard and have me say I don't know.
Just to refamiliarize you with it. That's all. All good. Nothing more, sir.
All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Mike McCurdy here. One more thing to offer up. It's been in the defense news maybe a little bit, but GE management and GE unions have not been playing well with their union management agreement. It looked like Ohio in Evendale, where they support F414s to a small extent, but other military non-Navy engines are possibly going to go on strike. They are voting today in Ohio and Monday in Lynn, Massachusetts, and it looks like, me knocking on wood, the strike will be averted. But our GE program integrator up there, very own AMDO, Danny Stimson, is working with the program offices and conveying impacts. Right now, potential impacts, but it looks like it may become OBE if the votes go favorably over.
Okay. Well, thanks for the info. All right. Hey, if nothing else, we will call this a wrap. So appreciate everybody dialing in. As always, if there are topics you do want to talk about and you think it's something that we need to do a little homework on, let us know beforehand so we can get the information out to folks. Otherwise, we'll have an open forum kind of at the end of each of the first two meetings of the month. And then, like I say, that'll be in prep for the first two meetings of the quarter, in prep for the third meeting of the quarter, which will be with the voting members and maybe alternates only. So with that, I will call it a wrap unless there's any save rounds going in a count of 5.
What evil lurks in the hearts of men?
And that's a wrap.
No Tom Jones?
Yeah, I didn't have my phone with me.
Roger.
Thanks, everybody.
Good one.
CNET Lighting Field, Commander Bornino, how can I help you? Hey, KB. I did, man. You caught me fumbling. Sorry about that. Man, I didn't realize I put, I didn't know what to say. I was like, shit, man. That was an accident. That was a total act, man. I didn't want to say, but nothing was said, and I was like, hold on, I'm stopping this now.